Hello children, welcome back to computer class. In last session, we have studied about the classification of computers based on the different size. Okay, now let us revise them in short. First, we have seen about mobile computers. They are the smallest computers. Then next is the microcomputers we have seen. They are also called as the desktop computers. Next, we have seen the third type is mini computers, and we have seen mainframes and supercomputers. Now, in today's session, we will study about software and the types of software. Moving towards the next part of the chapter, that is software and the types of software. Now, before understanding what is meant by software, you need to understand what are the set of instructions. What is meant by set of instructions? Now, suppose I am instructing you to make a tea, right? And I am the instructor, and you are going to make the tea. So, what will be my first instruction? Take the pan. Then next instruction will be add some water. Then next instruction will be add a tea powder in that, right? And so on. Your tea making process will be going on. Now, similarly, in computer part, there are a set of instructions given to the computer that is required for the computer to do its task, right? And that set of instructions that performs a particular task is called a program in computer part, right? A set of instructions that performs a particular task is called a program. Fine. Now, again, a collection of such programs is called as software. Fine. Now, program is a set of instructions, and what is meant by software? It refers to the set of computer programs that are needed for running or operating computer system effectively. Right? Understood? Set of instructions is called program, and set of computer programs is called software. Now, software is classified in two types: system software and application software. First, we will see about system software, then we will move towards application software. Now, before moving ahead, you need to know one thing, that the software, it cannot be executed without the hardware installed inside your computer. Now, these system software, it requires the hardware to execute their functions. Okay. Now, what is known as system software? It is the collection of inbuilt programs that prepares an operating system to function. Now, these are the programs that tell computer what to do. These are the inbuilt programs. Inbuilt means these programs are stored inside the computer permanently, inside the ROM, to make the user task efficient. Okay. Now, it is the collection of inbuilt programs that prepares an operating system to function. As soon as you start your computer, it tells the computer to start the operating system. Fine. So, these are the already built-in programs. And what is meant by the application software? Application software are the user-defined programs, and system software are the already inbuilt programs. Okay. Now, system software is classified again into four types: operating system, interpreters, compilers, and assemblers. Okay. Now, one by one, we will see these things. First we are going to see operating system, then so on we will move. Now, the first system software that we are going to study is the operating system. Now, before understanding operating system, just know one thing, that a computer is a dumb machine. It cannot function by itself. Okay, you need to give some instructions to the computer to perform any task. Okay, fine. Now, it is the first program loaded when the computer is turned on. Now, the execution of instructions that we are going to give to the computer, the operation, the flow of the instruction, okay, that all is controlled by the operating system. If you are not having operating system installed on your computer, you cannot perform any task on your computer. Okay, fine. Operating system is nothing but it is the medium between a user and the computer. Okay, whatever user is whatever user is telling to the computer, it converts that instructions, it converts the user's instructions into the into the machine language so that computer can understand it. Okay, so it is the just the medium between user and the computer. Okay, it is the first program loaded when the computer is turned on. An operating system controls all the functions that are being performed. All the activities that are being performed on your computer, it is all controlled by the operating system. Okay, it also controls the execution of programs. Suppose you are performing multiple tasks at a time on a computer, so all the execution of programs, all the control of the programs, it is all accessed by operating system, it is all controlled by operating system, so that user can perform its task very effectively and without any inconvenience. Okay, fine. Now it ensures that all parts are functioning properly. Okay, the responsibility of the operating system is that it controls all the parts of the computer, it ensures that they are functioning properly, it also controls all the functions that are being performed on the computer, and it is the first program loaded when the computer is turned on. Operating system is nothing but the medium between user and the computer. Okay, and the examples of operating system are Linux, Windows, and so on. Many operating systems are there. Okay, next system software that we are going to study is the compiler. A compiler is a program that takes a program written in high level language and converts it into the machine level language. Now what is in the high level language? High level language means when the user writes a program, user writes in his own language. Okay, now how the computer will understand what the user is writing? So the function of the compiler is that it converts the program written by the user into the machine level language. Now machine level language is the only language that is understood by the computer. So to perform to get computer to instruct computer to do any task, it converts the program written by the user into the machine level language so that computer can perform its task effectively. Okay, and also computer can understand it. Okay, it first runs the whole program written by the user and then converts that program in one attempt, in one go, into the machine code. Okay, now, what is in the compiler? Compiler is a program that takes the program written by the user and converts it into the machine level language, and so that computer can understand it, and it converts the program written by the user in one go. In one attempt, it converts the program into the machine code. Okay, fine. So far we have seen two system software. Now moving ahead. Now, interpreter, it analyzes each line of the program and then carries out the specific actions. It reads program line by line. Suppose it reads the first line of the program and it analyzes whether that line is having any error, or it can be executed, or it can be converted into the machine code. A line of the program, it can be converted into machine code if it doesn't have any error. Okay, and what does the compiler do? Compiler converts the program written in high level language into machine language in one attempt, but interpreter, it analyzes the program line by line, and then line by line it converts the program into the machine code. But and that's why interpreter works slower than compiler, because interpreter takes a lot of time to convert the program into the machine code. Fine. Then next is assembler. An assembler is a program that takes the program written in assembly language as input and translates it into the machine language. Now assembly language is the low level language. It is designed for the specific type of processor. Okay, an assembler is a program that it is a inbuilt program that takes the that takes the assembly language program as input and translate it into the machine language. because the computer understands only one language, and that is machine language. And the translation process and this conversion process is known as assembly. And that program that converts the assembly language into machine language is called as assembler. Okay, now moving ahead. Now, next part is application software. Till now, we have seen system software. Now, the next is application software. Now, application software is dependent on system software. If system softwares are not there, then application software on your computer is of no use. You cannot use application software. Okay. Then, application software is a set of computer programs designed to help the user in performing the specific type of work. Means the user installs that particular application on the computer to make the user's task easy. Okay, a variety of software, there are many software application software available in the market. Among them, the user can choose which is appropriate for his work. Okay, application software are not the inbuilt software. These are the software that user installs inside his computer, so that it helps user to perform a specific type of work. Now, application software is further divided into two types: packages and utilities. Now, the first application software that we are going to see is the packages. A package is a computer application consisting of one or more programs. Means these applications that are under packages, their aim is same. They are the similar programs. Okay, and they perform the particular type of work. They perform similar work. Okay, for example, word processor packages. Under word processor packages, we have MS Word, WordPad, Notepad. All these three applications, they perform similar type of work, and that's why they are under the word processor packages. Okay, now next, utilities. A utility is a program designed to perform maintenance work on the system. Utilities are responsible for maintaining your system. It ensures that your computer performs efficiently without any crashes, and that's why it is important to have the utility program in your computer. Utility packages include backup, antivirus, total security, right? All this software comes under the utilities. So moving ahead. Now we are moving towards the last part of this chapter, that is computer languages and their types. Now in the beginning we have seen what is a program and what is a software. A program is nothing but a set of instructions, and a software is nothing but the set of programs. Now these programs that are used to instruct the computer is called as software. Now these programs can be written in any computer language. Now, what are the computer language? A computer language is an artificial language that specifies instructions to be executed on the computer, and these instructions can be written in any language. There are many computer languages available, and all these languages you will learn as you will go in higher classes. Okay. As of now, just know that computer language is artificial language that specifies instructions to be executed on a computer. Okay, and further, computer language is divided into two types: low level language and high level language. One by one we are going to see. Now, low level languages are again classified into two categories: machine language and assembly language. First we will learn about these two languages. First we will learn about the low level languages, then we will move towards the high level language. Now first we will see about the machine language. Now machine language is the language in which each instruction is written in the form of long string of zeros and ones. Now these zeros and ones, the long string of zeros and ones are nothing but the binary language, and binary digits consist of the uh, two numbers that are zeros and ones. And in machine language, each instruction is written in the form of a long string of zeros and ones. Now it is very difficult to write a program in the machine language for the user, but at the same time it is very useful, it is very beneficial for the computer to understand the program. Okay, fine. It is very difficult for us to write the program in machine language, but it is very beneficial for the computer to understand it. Okay, now next is assembly language. Now this assembly language has instructions written using abbreviations, and certain codes are there, and these are called as symbolic instructions. In machine language only two numbers were used, and the long string of zeros and ones, it was used to for each instructions. But in assembly language there are certain instructions written using abbreviations and codes, and they are called as symbolic instructions. Now the program written in assembly language for one computer, it cannot be used by any other computer. For all computers, different assembly language program is to be written. Okay, because each computer has a different type of processor. Okay, each processor has its unique set of instructions, and therefore it needs a different program in assembly language. The program written in assembly language for one computer, you cannot use it for any other computer. Okay, and why? Because the processor of the computers of each computer is different. It has its unique set of instructions. Fine. So here we have learned about the low level languages. Now we are learning about the now low level languages. These languages are very difficult for us to write any program in low level languages. But this on the other hand, the high level languages, they are widely used by the programmers to develop the programs. These are the programs that are user friendly. A user can easily write a program in high level language, and a high level language is much easier for the programmer to use than the low level languages. Okay, and some of the examples of the high level languages are C language, C++, Python. These are the examples of the high level languages. And high level languages are machine independent. The program that you are writing for one computer, it can be used for any other computer. It is machine independent. It is not machine dependent. It is machine independent. Okay, and that's why the high level languages is much easier for the programmer to use than the low level languages. Okay, so far we have learned about the software. Under software we have learned about system software and application software. Then we have learned about the machine language, assembly language under the low level languages, and then we are learned about the high level languages. Okay, so here we are ending this chapter 1. I am attaching the worksheet. You need to watch the video till the end and solve that worksheet and send it back to my email ID.